I'm just going to start another video on basically the E module and its relationship to the S module. So we'll start out by building an E module so we have an idea what we're talking about. It's 1/20th of a rhombic triacontahedron. That's one best ways, I think, to describe it. So we'll make part of it just for the sake of seeing what we're talking about. So now, if I highlight this and do icosahedral symmetry, I've built an entire rhombic triacontahedron. Every opening on that hub in the center has been used. If we can look at the lifelike solids, this is kind of how vZome tool actually looks. And you'd have to use the half blues to make the proper. So now 1/20th would be, I'm going to get rid of those little hubs real quick. 1/20th is 1/4 of one of these rhombuses, because that's a face. There's 30 rhombic faces. Oops, I didn't mean to do that, but that's okay. That looks fine, but that's the one face. That's what I wanted to show you. And it's got 4 projected toward the center modules. Now, the E module will have, I'm going to get rid of just get back down to the basics here. That's actually 2 E modules, so we're going to make 1. And that way we can just work with that. I first wanted to show the rhombic triacontahedron. I like to have it centered, so then I select all and I do the centroid, and I can look at that center. It's better placement. Oops, I thought I erased it or hid it. Hide that thing. Okay. Now, this is your standard form for the E module. This here, what I'm clicking on, is the origin, the center, and there would be 1/20 of these projecting out, 60 in each direction. Well, the reason I'm bringing it up, one of the interesting things, is that in this case, this edge length is 1. That would make this edge length here, that would be 0.618, and then this edge length here would be 0.381966, which is phi to the second, phi to the -2 here, and phi to the -1 here, and actually phi to the 0 or 1. So we've talked about scaling the modules. It's kind of a strange dance there. Sometimes it just doesn't want to behave. But now I'm increasing the edges by phi. Did I not do that? Sometimes I'm just a little, it's just a little harder to get them to go where you want. That worked pretty good. Now, as you can see, I have the same exact form, but I've made it larger by phi, and so its volume is actually phi to the 3rd larger. It's about 4 1/4, 4.236068 larger in volume. You wouldn't think so, but it really is. What's interesting here is, see if I can do it, is that the modules themselves can build the shape. There's actually be 4 of one size and 5 of the next. You can see the orientation is 2 of the same size T modules or E modules in there. So that's how it grows or scale. And you can go in both directions, smaller or larger. Now, I want to bring up a form here, which I've talked about before, which is the eighth of an octahedron. My point is that these two shapes, they're connected by their common edge, are both of the same volume. The length, breadth, width, however you want to say it, the three orthogonals of the eighth octahedron. I don't know if you recall, but I was using phi to the, well, I'm changing it up now, sorry. These 3 edges are going to be 1, which is the same as this edge being 1. So basically, if we're just doing cubic units, we'd say 1 by 1 by 1 is 1. It's going to be 1/6 of that. It's going to be 1/6. And it is 1/6 of a 1 by 1 by 1 cube, which is kind of cool. And that's how the tetrahedron is housed. And so then the E module that I have over there, this one being actually larger in that the distance from here to here is 1.618. So what we have then is that increased by phi to the third. But it's all a relative thing about which volume's which. I just wanted to show that this eighth octahedra here is 1/6 of this cube, which is a 1 by 1 by 1. Now you may know that phi to the negative 1 power, which is 0.618, and phi to the 0 power, which is 1, and then phi to the first power is 1.618. Well, if you multiply those 3 together, you also get 1. So what I'm trying to say is we can say that the E module is 1/6 of a, it's actually called a golden cuboid. Somehow I've really messed that up. I'm not seeing clearly. And that is, that's not what I want to do. I just want to get some links here. That is, the golden cuboid has the same volume as the 1 by 1 by 1 cube, so to speak. And that's kind of cool, in my opinion. And that's where I was going to try to say that where scaling can be important, scaling by phi, and how we can have these volumetric equivalents even though the forms are different, through just basically the beauty of phi and other things. Alright, thanks a lot. I'm going to just finish putting this E module here. I've actually we could call it an E3 module because the longer of its lengths, of these 3 lengths, is phi to the first power in this demonstration. But those 2 shaded forms are identical in volume. That's an important thing to bear in mind for other topics of discussion. Thank you.